When 200 students laughed as the bullies slapped her in front of everyone, nobody knew that moment would turn her pain into power. Her silence that day was not weakness, it was the calm before a storm that would change the entire school, and the lives of those who mocked her. Stay till the end, her transformation will leave you speechless. Subscribe now for more inspiring real-life stories that prove strength is born in the darkest moments. The day started like any other at Ridgewood High, with laughter echoing through the halls, whispers filling the air, and the same social hierarchy that decided who mattered and who didn't. Amelia Hayes, the quiet scholarship girl who always sat in the corner, didn't belong to any of the elite circles. She wore thrift store clothes, carried secondhand books, and ate homemade sandwiches that smelled like love but looked like poverty to her classmates. Her mother worked double shifts as a cleaner at the same school, a detail that the bullies loved to remind her of. The queen of the bullies, Madison Clark, rich, beautiful, and the daughter of the school board president, had always found Amelia an easy target. But that day, something happened that no one expected. It was the annual assembly, where almost the entire school of 200 students gathered in the auditorium. Madison and her clique cornered Amelia backstage, sneering about her patched-up shoes and charity case status. "You think you belong here, huh?" Madison hissed, stepping closer. "You should be cleaning floors like your mom." The crowd had gathered before teachers arrived, phones raised, recording. Before Amelia could even step back, Madison slapped her hard across the face, so hard that it echoed through the hall. The students gasped, then burst into laughter. Amelia stood frozen, her cheeks stinging, her eyes watering. But she didn't cry, she simply stared at Madison, her gaze so calm that it made even the bullies uneasy. "Are you done?" she said softly, her voice trembling not with fear, but with control. Then she turned and walked away, not knowing that her quiet retreat would soon become the turning point of her life. That night, the video went viral, not because of the slap, but because of what Amelia did afterward. The next morning, she uploaded a video response, not angry, not defensive, but powerful. She stood in her small kitchen, her mother washing dishes behind her, and said, "Sometimes people slap you because they fear what you can become. I don't hate Madison, I thank her, because she reminded me why I'm here, to prove that kindness and education are stronger than cruelty." Within hours, millions watched it. Comments poured in, praising her grace, her courage, her composure. But while the internet hailed her as a hero, things at school grew worse. The bullies mocked her fame, scribbled insults on her locker, and once even cut her backpack straps. Still, Amelia never retaliated. Instead, she joined the school's debate club, started tutoring struggling students, and focused on her studies. Her grades soared, and she won the state's top academic scholarship. Meanwhile, Madison's popularity began to crumble. Teachers started noticing her behavior, parents complained about her bullying, and whispers spread that her father's company was under investigation for fraud. The tables were slowly turning. One day, the school principal called an emergency assembly. A guest speaker had arrived, a man named Ethan Reed, the CEO of one of the largest education foundations in the country. Tall, confident, and surprisingly humble, he spoke about resilience, forgiveness, and leadership. He mentioned that his company was looking for a young ambassador who represented true character. "We're not looking for perfection," he said, scanning the crowd. "We're looking for someone who stood tall when others tried to tear them down." Everyone's eyes turned toward Amelia. Madison rolled her eyes, muttering under her breath, but Ethan Reed smiled directly at Amelia and said, "Miss Hayes, would you join me on stage?" The audience erupted in whispers. Shaking slightly, Amelia stepped forward, her heart pounding. Ethan asked her to share her story. She did, not the viral video version, but the raw truth. She spoke of humiliation, of choosing kindness over revenge, of watching her mother work tirelessly to give her a future. By the time she finished, the auditorium was silent. Then came the applause, louder than she'd ever heard in her life. Ethan looked at her and said, "Amelia, people like you don't just deserve scholarships, you deserve opportunities to lead." He offered her a mentorship program with his foundation, something that only one student in the entire nation received each year. Madison's jaw dropped. In that instant, the girl who was slapped became the girl everyone admired. Over the next months, Amelia's life transformed. She traveled to conferences, met global leaders, and appeared on talk shows. Yet she never forgot where she came from. She used her platform to start an anti-bullying campaign called, "Stand Silent, Rise Strong, which spread across hundreds of schools. Madison, on the other hand, faced her own downfall. Her father's company went bankrupt amid scandal, and her family moved away. Ironically, she ended up applying for a scholarship at the same foundation Amelia now helped manage. When Ethan Reed showed Madison's file to Amelia for review, Amelia hesitated. She remembered the slap, the laughter, the humiliation, but she also remembered her own message: forgiveness is power. So she approved the application. Months later, Madison wrote her a letter: "You changed me more than you'll ever know. I'm sorry. Thank you." Amelia smiled, realizing that true victory isn't revenge, it's compassion. Years passed. Amelia graduated top of her class, became a renowned speaker, and was eventually appointed director of youth initiatives at Reed Foundation. On the 10th anniversary of that unforgettable day, she was invited back to Ridgewood High as the keynote speaker for graduation. The same auditorium where she was once humiliated now echoed with applause as she took the stage in a tailored suit, confident and radiant. "I was once slapped on this stage," she began, her voice steady. "But that moment didn't break me, it built me. Don't let anyone define your worth. The world will always have bullies, but it will also have people who choose kindness, people who rise." The crowd stood, clapping through tears. And among them, Amelia saw a young girl in the front row, clutching a notebook, eyes full of hope, the same way Amelia once looked at the world. After the ceremony, Ethan Reed, now gray-haired and smiling proudly, approached her. "You've come a long way," he said. She laughed softly. "All because of one slap." He nodded. "Sometimes, pain is life's invitation to rise higher." She looked back at the stage, then at the students cheering her name, and whispered, "I wouldn't change a thing." And in that moment, Amelia knew, what began as humiliation had become her greatest story of triumph, proof that silence in the face of cruelty isn't weakness, it's the first step toward greatness.